Velociraptor. The movie version is wrong on almost every count. Tall, scaly, snarling. None of that matches the real animal. Velociraptor was about the size of a turkey, barely 2 feet at the hip, covered in feathers instead of scales. It had a long, stiff tail for balance, and a sickle claw that was likely used to pin prey down rather than slash through it. It lived in Mongolia, in dry dune country, hunting small mammals and lizards. There's a fossil from 1971 worth knowing about. A velociraptor found locked in combat with a protoceratops, claw in the neck, arm caught in the beak, both animals buried together when a dune collapsed on them mid-fight. It's one of the most famous fossils in the world, not because it proves Velociraptor was terrifying, but because it shows exactly how the animal fought, frozen in place at the moment it happened. Feathered, small, and about as far from the film version as it gets. Deinonychus. Almost nobody knows this name, even though it's the animal that started the whole raptor idea. John Ostrom dug up its bones in Montana in 1964, and what he found didn't fit the old picture of dinosaurs as slow, cold-blooded lizards. The claw was the main clue. Curved, blade-shaped, built for slashing, mounted on a foot that could swing fast. Ostrom argued the animal moved with real energy, maybe even warm blood, and that idea helped kick off what's now called the dinosaur renaissance. Deinonychus stood around 3 feet tall, roughly the size of a large dog. Several individuals were once found next to a much bigger plant eater, Tyrannosaurus, which some read as evidence of pack hunting. Other researchers think it could just as easily be scavenging, or young animals feeding separately without any coordination at all. Nobody's fully settled the question. What's clear is the legacy. Without this animal, there's no Velociraptor pop culture and no feathered dinosaur science. Utahraptor. Utahraptor breaks the small and fast raptor stereotype completely. Discovered in Utah in the 1990s, it stretched past 15 feet and may have weighed close to 500 pounds, dwarfing most other raptors by a wide margin. Its sickle claw alone reached 9 inches, big enough that early researchers wondered if it belonged to a different animal entirely. Most dromaeosaurids stayed small, built for agility. Utahraptor went the other direction, trading speed for size and power. Some bone beds show multiple individuals dying together, possibly around the same carcass, though whether that means real pack hunting is still debated. The size difference alone puts it in a different category from its smaller relatives, closer to an ambush predator than something built for chasing prey down. Microraptor. 4 wings, not 2. This dinosaur, roughly the size of a crow, had flight feathers on both its arms and legs, a combination no living bird has today. It was found in China in rock fine enough to preserve feather color, so we know it was black with an iridescent sheen, likely used for display as much as flight. How the 4 wings actually worked is still debated. Some researchers think it glided tree to tree, legs spread beneath the arms like a small biplane. Others argue it could manage weak, controlled flapping flight, not soaring, just enough to cross gaps between trees. Its diet adds another layer to the picture. One fossil preserved fish scales in the stomach. Another held the remains of a small mammal. A third contained a bird. 4 wings, an opportunistic diet, part glider and part hunter. It sits at an odd point in dinosaur evolution, close enough to true flight that paleontologists still disagree on what to call the moment it crossed that line. Austroraptor. Long snout, tiny arms, found in Argentina. Austroraptor stretched close to 16 feet, making it one of the largest raptors known, but its forelimbs were unusually short compared to its relatives. A raptor is supposed to grip and slash with its arms. This one barely could. The leading theory involves fish. Its long, narrow jaw resembles a Spinosaurid's, and those animals are known for wading into rivers to hunt. If Austroraptor followed a similar path, the small arms may simply have stopped mattering over time. Southern Argentina back then was warm and river-cut, with slow water and prey near the surface. It remains one of the odder branches on the raptor family tree, and there isn't enough fossil material yet to say for certain what those arms were for. Dakotaraptor. This animal lived alongside Tyrannosaurus rex and still isn't a name most people recognize. It was dug up from the Hell Creek Formation, the same rock that produced T-Rex and Triceratops, and stretched close to 18 feet, closer in scale to Utahraptor than to the smaller raptors people usually picture. Its forearms had quill knobs, small bumps on the bone where feathers anchor in living birds, direct evidence this animal was feathered despite being far too big to fly. It lived right at the end of the Cretaceous, alongside the last tyrannosaurs, and likely competed for the same mid-sized prey. The discovery was only announced in 2015, and it changed how researchers picture that final ecosystem. Not just giants and small scavengers, but something sized in between. Large, feathered, and running out of time along with everything else in that world.